pass defenders like they weren't there, he would outwit them too.
Last weekend, Reach Out to Asia, Qatar's leading non-profit organization, held its annual youth conference Empower at the Student Center in Qatar Foundation. I've attended the conference on Friday and I've found a large number of participants from different institutions in Qatar, including private and public schools, colleges, and universities. More than 1,000 participants between the age of 16 and 26, mainly from Qatar, attended the event. Empower 2014 is the 6th annual 3-day youth conference on leadership and global citizenship. The 3-day event included a combination of seminars, panel discussions, keynote speeches, workshops, off-site visits, and youth panels. Following the success of 2013, the 2014 event invited a large number of regional and international youth activists to network with the youth in Qatar. On the second day of the conference, they held a panel discussion with Obama, the founder of Sauti Kuu organization in Kenya.
Many organizations may talk about using sports for empowerment, to have an impact, but very many times they don't know how they're doing it. And our problem, you mentioned you were in Nairobi, we have a lot of non-profit organizations in Kenya that are doing many different things. And as those of you in the development world, as it's called, knows, very often something will be very popular. So everybody will jump onto that and say, oh, I'll do that because it's going to give me money. So we have a lot of organizations that use sports with youth, so-called for social development, because they get their funding by promoting that and sending in proposals for that. But if you go and look at what they're doing on the ground, the impact it's minimal in many ways, because we have the basic, which is participation, and of course they're going to be loud, the voice, as I talked about yesterday. But in reality, beyond that, you don't really change the lives of those young people long term. Also because most of the funding is short term as well. So the how is always the big thing that we have to struggle with. And in our case, in our organization, we're still struggling with it. Because very often the volunteers and coaches who are told, now use sports to show life skills, to use as an example of how you can live your life better. Why are you winning? Ask the questions. What did you do to win? How did you work together to win? Now, if you translate that into your situation, in a real life situation, in a work situation, in a school situation, working on a project in class, how would you work as a team? What would be important to watch out for? These are all conversations that I had on the pitch as well. But very often, and to be honest, so I'm not going to answer the how question yet, I will let the others also have an opportunity, is that if you ask the young people about that, really what they want to do is just play. They just want to have the game. And when you sit them down afterwards, you're giving them a drink and a biscuit to make them sit down and have that conversation with you. So the how is always a challenge. There are many programs that are in place, Coaches Across Borders, that we tap into. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We tap into what others are doing and try and work in partnership, so they help us facilitate the how.
When I attended the event on Friday, I found a large number of participants attending the discussion panels and the workshops that went on from 8 o'clock in the morning all the way until 8 p.m., with volunteers working non-stop. I met with Mrs. Loma Diab from Reach Out to Asia, and this is what she had to tell us.
My name is Loma Diab, part of Reach Out to Asia's Youth Advisory Board and president of Youth Without Borders. I've been volunteering since 2008 with Rota. This is the 6th annual leadership conference for Reach Out to Asia. It's called Empower. And this year's focus is on sports for youth development and empowerment. Actually, this year we've exceeded the 1,000 applications. And it's almost the first time for us to experience. Thankfully, every year we get so many people interested, so many youth interested in Empower. It's always the same system, of course. First day, yesterday we had our keynote speeches. We had Mr. Hassan Al-Dawadi and Dr. Obama. And we had a video keynote speech from Mr. Wilfred Lemke, the Special Advisor for the United Nations Office on Sports for Development and Peace. Today, our focus is mainly on the workshops. We have 2 sets of workshops. First set, the morning set, was general. It covered all Reach Out to Asia's themes, personal leadership, global citizenship, and service learning. And the second set, which will happen in about an hour, is going to be sports focused. So we've got Liverpool Football Club, Cruyff's Foundation, coaches across continents. So many, also Football Social, it's a Brazilian organization. We have different international as well as local organizations like Qatar National Olympic Committee as well as Qatar Football Association also having workshops. As for the international delegation, we're becoming, of course, more international this year. We accepted and actually chose international youth from international organizations from Turkey, US, UK, Brazil, Yemen, Tunisia, and of course GCC, and India. Our main output is to produce an outcome document on the topic, on the issue, how to use sports as an educational tool to solve community issues, philanthropic issues like cultural boundaries, how to break cultural boundaries through sports. To many people, sports is one language. Football, for instance, is one language that so many people use.
And it's that connection that allows us to have real positive change in the world. I can speak to anyone in the world intelligently about Messi. I can speak to them about Steven Gerrard. My team's Man United, so I can speak to them about Manchester United, and I can have an instantaneous connection.
I also met with Mr. Carl Haig from FC Liverpool Foundation, and he told me about their future partnership with Reach Out to Asia.
My name is Mark Haig, and I'm the head of the Liverpool FC Foundation. This is our first year here yet, and we've been very privileged to be invited down. I've done a little panel presentation, and I've got some of my coaches doing some coaching sessions as part of the workshops. I think what we can do is we can go to places across the globe with the power of the Liverpool badge. We know that youngsters all want to play football with us and other sports as well. And if we can link with some other key partners from around who I've met here, it means that we can offer more and more variety as well. We are planning on being here next year. We're planning on making sure that our message, which is about young people being physically active in a fun way as well, is something that we're taking right across the world, so people here all think that as well.
Also, 2 weeks ago, Reach Out to Asia signed a memorandum of understanding with the Qatar Football Association that sets out the commitment of both parties to support the advancement of youth capabilities and developing long-term leadership capacity building. The agreement was signed by the Executive Director, Mr. Isa Al-Manai, and Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa bin Ahmed Al Thani, the President of the QFA. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Al-Manai said that we are delighted to sign an agreement with the Qatar Football Association that aims to increase awareness about the importance of exercise and leading a healthy lifestyle by playing an active sport like football. We are committed to provide a platform for community events that youth can participate in, so they can learn more about the importance of playing football.